Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the Beautitudes, but we're going to mix it up a little bit today and start a little differently. And we're going to start with the game. The game is called Do As I Say, Not As I Do. And it's a little bit like, you know how like when you have to rub your belly and pat your head. It reminds me a little bit of that, but it's a little bit different. What we're going to do is I'm going to perform some action like clap, but I'm going to tell you to do something else. So this is participatory. I want you to get up and I'm going to ask you to do something. So I might say, pat your head. And you need to pat your head even though I'm clapping. Or maybe I'll do two things, like I'll pat my head and I'll rub my belly. And I'll say, pat my head. You got to do what I say, not what I'm doing. So it's going to be a little hard for me too to do the instructions and to do one thing and say something else. It'll be a little bit hard, but we'll get into that later. So, all right. So let's start. Clap your hands. Wave your arms around. Put your arms way up in the air. Put your arms way down low. Let's see. Touch your nose. Touch your, oh, I almost did it wrong. I almost did the same thing. Let's see. Touch your eyes. Rub the back of your neck. Now, shake your arms around. Let's see. What else can we do here? Open your mouth really wide. Spin around. Now we're going to double up. Clap your hands. Spin around. Oops. Let's go back to them one at a time. Touch your nose. All right, enough of that. How did it go? Was it hard? Was it easy? It was a little bit hard for me to do one thing and say another. So try it yourself. If you're with someone else, go ahead, pause the video, do a round or two, and try saying one thing. Or even if you're just watching this by yourself, try saying one thing and do another and see how it goes. All right. Was it difficult? So was it hard to be told to do one thing while doing another? And which did you, I'm curious, which you found influenced you more? What I was doing or what I was saying? Were you more likely to do what I said and to follow my words, or were you more likely to follow my actions? Because it could be different for different people. And if you tried it yourself, was it really hard? I find it harder to actually do something different than what I'm saying. And in life, it's really important that the way we act matches what we say, so that, or what we believe, so that what we do and how we do things matches our beliefs and what we say our beliefs are. And the saints are role models for us in this, because they were really good examples of how to live as Jesus taught. And they would act, their actions, they acted out their beliefs. They acted the same way they believed. So they didn't say, touch their nose when they clap their hands. You know, that's not what I mean. So we're going to look at Matthew 5:1-12 today, and I will read it. And read along. Grab your Bible and read along if you would like. Now, when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up a mountain. He sat down, and his disciples came to him. He taught them, saying, "Happy are the people who are hopeless, because the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Happy are the people who grieve, because they will be made glad. Happy are the people who are humble, because they will inherit the earth. Happy are the people who are hungry and thirsty for righteousness, because they will be fed until they are full. Happy are people who show mercy, because they will receive mercy. Happy are the people who have pure hearts, because they will see God. Happy are people who make peace, because they will be called God's children. Happy are people whose lives are harassed, because they are righteous, because the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Happy are you when people insult you and harass you and speak all kinds of bad and false things about you, all because of me. Be full of joy and be glad, because you have a great reward in heaven. In the same way, people harassed the prophets who came before you. And I said that is called the Beautitudes. So, as I said, it was the saints that practiced what Jesus taught, and historically. But can you think of someone else in modern times that demonstrates the Beautitudes like they did, like the saints did? Or pick out a certain one. What's your favorite? You have it there in front of you. What is one that just sort of pops out to you that you really like? And can you think of someone who really demonstrates that particular Beautitude in their life? So, or maybe another saint. That is there a saint you can think of that demonstrates that particular Beautitude? Or, sorry, I disappeared. Or just someone saintly that could be remembered on All Souls Day. The saints exemplified the Beautitudes, and they acted in ways that matched their beliefs. But of course, as you know, this is not always the way people act. And sometimes people do not act the same way that on the things that they say. And can you think of some examples of this? So the first one that pops to my mind is politicians. No matter who they are, some more than others. But politicians have a way of saying things like when they're campaigning, and we're in the middle of this campaign right now, right? And think of all the things that the politicians are saying that they probably aren't going to act on. They say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to save the world. And then they often don't. Now, to give them credit, sometimes they try, because even the president doesn't have ultimate power and can't do everything that he wants to do, which sometimes is maybe a good thing. But often they make promises they don't keep, right? They say things that, or they say things, they're trying to pander to the people, right? They're trying to make the people happy and tell them what they want to hear. So they aren't always acting on their beliefs. But it's not just politicians that are limited to that. So think about maybe an adult who might get upset with a child who stole money. But that same adult might cheat on their income taxes, and that's a way of stealing money. So that, or a young person might be angry with their younger sibling for taking something of theirs that didn't belong with them. But then they might go to their older brother or sister and take something out of their closet to wear, right? Or athletes, a lot of athletes promote anti-drug campaigns, but sometimes that same athlete might use drugs themselves. So it's not uncommon to not always act on your beliefs, but it's good to try to do the best you can to do so. And what about you? So we all sometimes, in small ways, we don't always act out based on our beliefs. Sometimes we perform actions that do not follow what we believe and do not follow what we say. So can you think of some time when your actions didn't match your beliefs? So I'm going to ask you two questions. I want you to pause the video and talk it over with the person that you share with the person in response to these two questions that you're watching the video with, or if you're watching it alone, pause the video and find someone in your household and tell them your responses to these two questions. So the first is that when was a time when your actions didn't match your beliefs? And then the second question has to do with integrity. So if you don't know the word integrity, it's sticking to a code of behavior and trustworthiness and honesty. So it's basically being a person of principle, what integrity is. And so the second question is, can you think of times when you did what you knew was right, even though it was hard to do? So a time when you showed integrity. So the two questions, one time when your actions didn't match your beliefs, and the second question is when you did right. You showed integrity, even though it was really hard. You did it anyway. So go ahead and pause the video and come back once you have talked over with someone the answers to those two questions. Welcome back. I wish I could hear what your answers were and hear your replies, but the same are really good examples of living with integrity. So I'm going to describe a situation to you, and I want you to think about how you could respond to that situation that would fit in with what you believe, and how you could show integrity in that situation. So let's say you're in a group of your friends and someone tells a racist joke or makes fun of someone who's different in some way. What would you do in that situation? What are your beliefs around that situation? And how would you act that follows in your beliefs and show integrity? The second situation, Halloween's coming up, right? And your friends are talking about your plans for Halloween. Said, hey, let's go egg one of our teachers' houses. Small town, right? You know where your teachers live. What if it was Hannah's house? Hannah teaches at the high school, right? And what if one of your friends said, let's go egg teacher Bodrick's house? You wouldn't want to do that. Hannah is such a kind person. Who would ever want to do that? So how would you react? What would you do to show integrity in that situation? So that is all for today's lesson on the Beautitudes and how to act on your beliefs and show integrity. Be kind, stay safe, and have a good week. I'll see you next time.